Hey, how are we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. And sorry, I said this was going to be a different year. I said this was going to be the best year. 2020, full of surprises. Upvote. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for me. It can't be worse than 2019, but here we are. But life also goes on, and that's what we're speaking about today. And we haven't got anyone on here yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you, yes, we've got Dane Smith. Hello, Dane. Great Dane. November Rain. Similar to Purple Rain, but not so Purple Rain. I don't sing for you because I'm immature or to dance for views. I'm here to entertain you. Not Robbie Williams style. We've got Fugly there who's doing everything to get away from being a brand new father. We've got Dave D there. We've got Drew HG and Timmy Doust. Dave, this will be the first year that he's had a uniform in his closet, not a sailor, yet now he's got to be in a position where he can actually go and wear it or at least get issued it. Justin, here you go, mate. Leroy Majors. We've got Full Metal Jacket there. Matty Doust's always here. Lucas James Films and Midway, straight below him. We've got Giuliano Sticker. It's a good name. I need a four-wheel drive, so do I, but I think I want a camper van more. Yeah. It's all about living life. Life has changed. It used to be about Ferraris. It used to be about Lamborghinis. Which ones do you prefer? Now everyone's going, nah, stuff that. I want a Ranger, or I want a Hilux, or I want an Earth Mover, whichever you choose, or a boat. Oh, Waves. Oh, Waves, I miss them too. Aaron Mills is here. G'day, team. G'day, Gappy birthday for yesterday or happy birthday? I'll take the happy, and it was. It was perfect. Yesterday was my first birthday ever with my daughter because it falls on Anzac Day. You think being a military guy, being a veteran, being infantry, catching up with your buddies would not be a big deal, but when it means it's away from your child, you know, my soulmate, so to speak, it's a tough gig because someone has to miss out. There's not another day of the year for reunions there where people get away from work, etc. So it's an unfortunate thing. But yesterday was perfect. No phone, just sitting with my daughter, playing with Lego, watching scary movies. She thought The Nun was boring, and commemorating the fallen. And that's what we did. We remembered to remember, and I know you guys did too. JJ, hey, Kaz, I leave this Tuesday. Nervous but keen. What's going to be your last meal, JJ? I'll give you a bit of a tip at the moment. I've been speaking to a couple of people at Kapooka at the moment, and they haven't been doing PT. I don't know why. What does that possibly translate to capturing or getting coronavirus? It doesn't. You're already in a position of quarantine from the real world. Kapooka is all about reprogramming, for you to be a team member, for you to be able to put everyone first, to almost be Chinese for a little while. Kane, how you going, mate? Military Cow, great to have you here. And Kane is sitting his aptitude test too. Johnny Doe, nice one. Leroy Major, sorry I missed it. Timmy, happy birthday yesterday. For those that don't know, I turned 49 yesterday, and I feel every day of it at the moment, other than in maturity-wise, because I'm wearing the bear suit. Paulie, g'day all. I'm busy doing business accounts, so we'll keep my head down. Hope everyone had a good Anzac Day. Thanks, mate. It was a great day. It was really special spending it with family, and emotional too, thinking about some of the other things, and I'll explain that in a minute. Minty Fresh, not your cow. Love the channel, Kaz. Happy birthday for yesterday. Thank you very much. Thanks very much indeed. It's a good thing. Turning 49, close to 50. Can you really ask for more in life than for your journey to go beyond 50 years? Especially when you've lived in the fast lane for so long. To have known so many great people. Yeah, but a lot of you guys are going to feel that too. Lauren, you missed the call, Kaz. That's okay, mate. That's okay. I was just going to ask your opinion on what you wanted to hear about today. But here you are, and good to have you here. And I hope everyone had a somber Anzac Day and understand that really I was reinforced with how strong Anzac Day is. I didn't expect to see so many people, such an outpouring of respect. There was about 3 people in my street that had a candle lit before 6 o'clock. I went through that. I wear my medals on the left thing. The neighbours, a few up, when they saw me with me medals on, said it's great that you remember your grandfather and stuff. And I had to say, hey, look, they are mine. I am the veteran. I've only been out a few years, and they were apologetic. I said, you don't need to be. When I see someone with a rack of medals, I always think, is that theirs, or is it their grandfather's? I don't really care. But I'll let them know if it's not theirs, they've got it on the wrong side. Kane, no more from you, mate. Not too cow, all the same. For those that don't know, you wear your own medals that you've been awarded over your heart on the left-hand side. You wear your family members, grandfathers, etc. on the right-hand side, and you are not allowed to wear them until that member is dead. You can't just say, hey, wear those medals to participate. It doesn't work that way. The member has to be dead before you can wear them. I wonder how many imposters were out there yesterday. I wonder. I'd say one of the highlights of yesterday was we got a knock on the door, and a little girl named Poppy, with her mother, who's a nurse, working pretty hard at the moment. She came up with her daughters and knocked on my door. I didn't know that they knew that I was a military guy. And she'd coloured in and drawn a picture of a Poppy and happy birthday written on a brown paper bag with Anzac biscuits inside it. I was very touched. I had a tear in my eye, actually. It was a really beautiful gesture. And those little things, I think, are bringing communities together. Those neighbours that have never spoken to each other all of a sudden have something in common. And we're brought together in tough times. And I think almost everyone believes that this coronavirus has done something different. Life goes on in 2020. It doesn't matter how sad you are. It doesn't matter how you've been impacted. Life goes on, but just in a different way. Some people have been almost untouched. So they think. Lauren, beautiful name, Poppy. Yeah, it is. It is. And then there was another lady at Memorial that was a younger woman who was crying. She was there with her 2 kids. And I asked if she was okay, and it was because she missed her grandfather. And I thought, how beautiful was that? The relationship between a young girl or a woman with their father and their grandfather, it's a beautiful thing. Enlistment Day is next month for Curtis Campbell. No one can say no to CCs. It is going to be goddamn cold. Prison cell cold. But good on you, mate. I can't wait to hear how you go. Some of the calls from the people at the moment from Kapooka, they're saying it's cold there already. Again, that they're a bit bored. They haven't been doing PT, but that's all apparently about to change as of tomorrow, where they're going to start to ramp them back up again, and rightly so, because you can't go through Kapooka without having a fitness standard which says that you're able to reach a certain standard so that you can go into the field environment, because we need to know that you're physically up to the task, and that we're not putting the pack on the back of someone named Jack who's not ready to hack it, so to speak. Yeah. When you're in the military, you have to be able to pass your AIRN, and that is your readiness. What would you call it? It's your readiness qualification, so to speak. The fitness is supposed to be an individual responsibility, but that comes back and hits the section commanders as well if their soldiers get fat, for whatever reason, etc. The bosses, I'll kick their ass if their soldiers are fat. It's their job to harass those soldiers until they lose that weight, get rid of the smell of bacon. But other than that, there's also administration, there's inoculations, there's medical, there's dental, etc. And if you aren't ready, you can't go overseas unless you're non-arms corps. For some reason, they magically are good enough to go overseas, to represent, to get paid the big bucks, the big adventure. But not fit enough to necessarily do tully or do field. It's a weird thing. It only seems to be them. Nicholas, the great. Hey, Kaz and crew. Hey, Nicholas, how you going, mate? What do you want to speak about? Throw some subjects out there, team, and let's have a chat. I'm on here on a Sunday. That's unusual. I don't normally get on Sundays, but I just wanted to let you know that life goes on in 2020. You know, don't expect it to come to a screaming halt. It's not going to, but life is going to get harder if we don't start to open up, if we don't start to allow people to get out and start getting this economy back going again. My biggest fear for what's going to happen in 2020 with this time out of work is it can produce a lethargy that people are unable to come back from. All this time getting told and even paid some people to stay at home and do nothing might be enough that some people feel like they have some sort of chronic fatigue syndrome where they've replaced their sleep patterns, sleeping, going to bed really, really late, getting up really, really late, and then unable to get back on the horse. And that's how we can prevent the normal functioning of society. We do need a bit of negative stress to get us out of bed when we don't want to, so we can perform for the country. Rifleman and from Brisbane. It's a good gig, Rifleman, but it's hard work, especially if Kapooka doesn't get you up to the standard you required. Kapooka's dropped the standards too low, I believe. But at the same time, you know, they've still got a massive amount of back squads that occur when they get there. For people that go to Kapooka and have a dream job but have already been vetted and then still pull out of their own accord, do not understand it, and you're taking the position of someone else. You owe it to everyone that's in the line of enlistment to join the best small army in the world, the Australian Army, to finish what you start. If you don't like it, 4 years later, get out. Lachlan, hey, Kaz, I sent you a message on Instagram about regulations on watches in the ADF. Black watches is normally the way it goes, mate. Doesn't really touch on it well. Normally a black band and black watch, not a designer colour of any sort. Black or rifle green is normally good enough. But you do have to have a watch. Timings are the most important thing to a soldier. Dave D, his sister. Not sure what that's about. Where was your first deployment, Kaz? My first deployment, funny enough, was Rwanda. Central Africa, mate. Supposedly the jewel of the Congo. Wait 2 seconds. I'm going to put my aircon on because this is actually representing real fur at the moment. We're big. Had a good speak to JC this morning as well, and we spoke about the situation with the police that lost their lives in Victoria and that grub that put the evidence through his photography up onto Facebook. If I can give any young people some advice, don't look at those photos. Don't encourage that kind of behaviour, unless we forget to those police officers that lost their lives. I don't know what happened to the driver of the truck, but I dare say he's in a little bit less trouble than that of the scumbag. You know, that, if you know the story, I'm not a fan of it. Johnny Doe. Hey, Kaz, do you think now's the best time to apply, or should I wait till Corona? Look, at the end of the day, guys, no one's getting out of the army. No one's getting out unless they're forcibly getting kicked out because of medical or administrational reasons. The line is still massive. The fear for those that want to enlist is that when you go to apply for the military, the jobs that are there, you know, depending on what they are, a lot of them might be the jobs that you don't want. It might be a way to get into the military. It might be a way to put a uniform in your closet. But it might be a 4-year ordeal that you don't want to be part of once you realise that role and responsibility of that, you know, is not a big enough reward, and you can't always change out of a corps that you don't want to be in. The gaining corps needs to see that you are something that they want. And if you're doing a career, a role that you're not happy with and you haven't performed or you have had negative reports, you may not be able to change out of that corps. Jared Wilson, hi Kaz, thanks for your content and honesty. Jared, it's great to have you here, mate. We're here to help where we can, to be above that line, the information that you can find that you can't find online, or the information that potentially being lied to from recruiting itself. Nighty, for me, it was infantry or nothing. Yep, infantry to me is the best corps to get into because it most represents the army, so to speak. But if you go in there with that mindset, they're going to tell you, well, sorry, buddy, go and join the Army Reserve because there is not positions to join. Because it is the number one choice for most people to go into the military, to go into the corps that represents Army the most. You know, to say, I want to go to the corps that is not supporting anything. It is basically attached to the main effort, right? And everything else is supporting that. Naturally, you're going to want to go to the fast lane. And even that is not enough. And then a lot of people want to go to commandos and a lot of people want to go to SASR. And infantry is the quickest way to get there, successfully anyway. Ryan Ward, you'd be a fool to discharge in this climate. Stay and see it through. Ryan, I totally agree. But there is some fatty boomsticks out there that have eaten a bit too much pizza over Christmas period, you know, who strap 2 failed fitness tests together, and that starts to put them on an administrational warning. Third one should be, see you later. Miss Angela, g'day, mate. How you going? How many bricks is there in the Great Wall of China? I don't know. Is Kim Jong-un, is he still alive? We're hearing at the moment that he may be roadkill at the moment. Medical-induced assassination, don't know. We've heard that China, you know, the land of the tired people, tired-looking people, looks like it is at the moment going through clusters of corona, COVID-19, that are racking that. You know, so sorry to those people too. All right. And yesterday, I never got a chance to say, okay, so is it easy to transfer roles from, say, infantry to medic? It should be, because infantry to medic is a logical pathway to go, but there still has to be positions, unless you're going to kick one of the useless medics out and take their place. But I don't think they allow you to do that. I think medics have had it too easy, too long, the medical corps, and a lot of them are, what would you call it? They're good in a regimental aid post sort of location, but a lot of them are really, really fat. A lot of them are very, very lazy. You know, and their roles and responsibilities should always be geared towards fitness. It should be towards being attached to support or to support arms corps, so they're able to be carried or injected into call signs so they can still operate in a field environment rather than just from a vehicle. They should be able to man pack where they're needed the most. What are we talking about? One thing I was going to say yesterday is my hat goes off to the Turks as well, and this is in relation to Anzac Day. It's really sad to know that in 1915, when the Australians hit the beaches at Anzac Cove, and the Kiwis and the Canadians and the British and the Indians, etc., that a lot of those Turks were only defending their homeland. Righto? And to see the ages of some of those that were fighting, it's just tragic, you know, growing up way too quick. And sometimes we forget that 85,000 Turks lost their lives too in what was considered a failed mission by the Commonwealth forces to take Anzac Cove. So to the Turks, if we have, because we've had a few Turkish subscribers, you know, hats off to you guys as well. You know, and they're representing their Anzac Day on the day they were attacked, you know, in 1915 as well. So to them and to everyone that knows someone or has lost lives as a result of the wars or conflict, you know, it's a very sad thing. I learned about the white poppy representing civilians, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, but there wouldn't be enough walls to put the names on those or a way to track those down. if you were to put those in the Canberra War Memorial. Yeah, it's a beautiful tribute, especially for those in England and France and even Germany that bombed each other's cities. I'm starting to talk a bit of shit now, aren't I? Mr. P's here. G'day, mate. I even had a show for you, mate. It was a few days ago, but Shirtlifter says Mr. Buckaroony, one of the best channels on YouTube from North Queensland. If I was you, mate, I'd be asking for Cactus Jacks to be delivered to me door right now. It's good hangover food, and I saw some people drinking yesterday, and I feel like it's rubbed off. Hey, Kaz, Queensland easing restrictions on the 2nd of May. Excellent. We can travel within 50 kilometres home for recreation, so we can go boating, camping, etc. That's awesome. Cactus Jacks is the best. It's a reason worth joining the military. I'm not sure if he's out there, but I was just speaking also to Simon, our Raffy, and I hope you're well too, mate. He's a Lego enthusiast. Chris Dudfield says, keep the channel open, brother. Keep the videos coming. Duds. There you go, Mr. Dudfield. It's been a long time. I hope you're well, mate. What did you do yesterday? DDQ. Fergie, good on you, mate. It's a really good experience. Biggest tip is just be yourself. They'll look for and call out discrepancies. Either you're right or you're not. Don't try and pretend. What's this one for? What's he done? Fergie. Where's Fergie? What's he saying? And so am I got told to prepare for anything and do research? Should be experience any tips? In reference to what, Fergie? Can't see it. Lauren, looking forward to living vicariously through your vids, Mr. Buckaroony. Where is the titanium cup? Bang. There's just no water in it, team. You can get these from Drifter. I don't know what's going on with at the moment also with the superannuation, the military superannuation, whether that's taken much of a hit. If it hasn't, there's a good chance I'll have once everything gets back to terra firma, back to normal, that I'll have that motorhome. And I know the one I'm after now. It's from Skyline campers, and they look fantastic, but they're not cheap. I won't be cooking bacon in it. I thought this said Sailor. Daniel Salter. G'day, mate. Kaz, I wonder if those of us heading to Kapooka on Tuesday will be permitted local leave. No, there will be no local leave at all, you know. And the War Memorial, I don't believe, will be open for you guys either. I am wearing a bear suit, Mr. P. My daughter gave it to me yesterday. She said, what can I give you? And I said, give me a bear suit for winter. So when I'm doing preparing videos, I can sit in here with a one-stop shop and be comfortable. So I don't think you'll be going to the War Memorial, mate. They're not gonna chance any sort of COVID contamination of you guys. And I know the guys at Kapooka, they weren't allowed to go anywhere for Anzac Day. But they were given their phones for the entire day to commemorate that, bring their family, etc. It's an important thing you say, very important. I'm glad you brought it up. And what I'm talking about there is the one thing that every platoon has at Kapooka is they get taken to the Canberra War Memorial for the day, so they can go in there and get a tour of the War Memorial in case it's the first time they've come there, but also see the Wall of Honour. That, funny enough, everyone that has been in there in the last 50 years wouldn't have realised they're going to be on the wall themselves. You know, so I've got friends that are on the wall that would have been there and enjoyed the Canberra War Memorial, but maybe not understood the full context of really what it means until you see friends' names on the walls. You're a honey bear or a grizzly bear? I'm a fish-eating bear, mate. I'll take the fish over the honey any day. Foxhound, there you go, mate. For those that don't know, Foxhound is also the appointment title, okay, for infantry. Ironside is for armor. Bluebell is for Ramey. Playtime is for transport. Pronto is for signals corps. Holdfast is for engineers. Sheldrake is for artillery. Boxwood is for nuclear, chemical, and biological warfare officer. Buckaroony, did that surprise you, mate? Kapooka is a big jail until COVID is done. It is. Do you like me navy lights in the background? Some of the fairy lights up there? I love salmon. So do I. I reckon sushi is one of my favourite foods outside Cactus Jack's. I love it. Starting a buffer, he says. I hope not. Kapooka is all designed to give every soldier a basement level of, one, the ethics, the code of being a soldier, to give you a standardized training so you can assume that the basic knowledge that every soldier must have to be able to have the responsibility and be able to do certain employed tasks with a certain role is there. Okay, there's no real specialist training at all at Kapooka. It is a school. It is to give a collective amount of skills on customs and traditions, on how to march around an area, how to meet timings, how to instill the ethos of the Australian soldier, how to teach controlled aggression, how to get fitness to a basic level. Unfortunately, for a lot of corps, it stays basic forever. Kane, no more, mate. Okay, just waiting for my use session for the Army via email. Not too cow. I thought you had it this week, mate. Hector, hero of Troy. And by the way, team, where's Derek? He's next door, chilling with the other dolls. I just did a big buy up on Lego today. I'd go and get it for you, but it's girl Lego for me daughter. That's how you spend time with a kid, doing an activity that also teaches them patience, attention to detail, etc. Waves. By the way, Kaz, couldn't thank you enough for all you have helped me with in Applied September last year and leaving for Kapooka in July. The coldest time, that's when I joined. I believe without you, my knowledge would be close to none. Mate, I'll accept that, and I appreciate that. And I hope that the candid conversations we have here about all subjects is to allow you to be able to drip feed little bits of information that allow you to feel not so out of your depth when you go through the doors, and to give you the best chance to say, I prepared for the Army by listening to someone who tells me sometimes the bits that I don't want to hear. And I'm not here just to give you good news. I'm not here to yank your tail, so to speak. One of the most controversial things we say, hope you're watching with a Cascade or a Bogues, Lauren, Tasmanian beers, they're my favourites, other than Summer Bright. And this brings us back to, again, why I explained to people about females not joining infantry. That wasn't just to be able to give advice to ladies that may have the perception that women can do whatever men can do, etc. It was to let them know how hard infantry is, and that you will be competing against, because everyone in infantry competes in that last frontier. But it's also to let you know that I'm here to tell you the truth. If I don't talk about controversial shit, if I don't get the thumbs down by saying certain things, that means I'm not over the target. I'm not giving you the information, and you might think I'm playing it safe, when that's not what I'm here to do. As a volunteer, I need you to be able to understand there is people that are in your corner. It is important that we do these streams, that we do these tribute poems for the fallen. So when you wrap that up and put a bow on top, you can see that there is people out there that, one, believe in you, but two, take your career seriously before you start, while you serve, and then when you get out. The bravest thing you do is the actual application process. After that, you're doing everything as an extension of something that you are being prepared for by instructors in the best small army in the world. So the hardest thing you ever do is actually sign for, enlist, to leave the comforts of the modern world to go into something, the fog of war, that has no assurance that you'll ever come back alive. So well done. Buddy BMX, if I get back squatted, will it be bad or severe to my job? Have you ever had experience with back squat, mate? Not me, mate. All the way, every time. Came close a couple of times. First lecture at Kapooka was about malingering and its consequences. Ryan, we'll talk about that in a second. Okay. You don't know if you're going to pass a test until you go for it in the army. And often you come in as a kid and leave as an adult. But if you call them kids, they're offended by it. You don't know what you are, okay, until you get tested. And the sign of an adult is someone who can take responsibility for action. Someone that doesn't scream out, "It wasn't my fault," the second something goes to shit. You'll be held responsible because not just you were present, but you didn't do something to alleviate something from occurring, so to speak. If you get back squatted, guys and gals, it is horrific. There's no way around it, and it shouldn't feel good, and it matters. It does matter. If you're going to be a commando, you're not going to be a commando anymore if you get back squatted because you just missed your dates. If you get back squatted, you may not go to the corps you wanted to go because you've broken the contract, so to speak, with your employer that was putting you through Kapooka so that you will then be able to match up with the time start date that happens at an initial employment training facility somewhere in Australia, whether that be in Pucka, whether that be in Sydney at Steel Barracks, whether that be in Singleton, the School of Infantry, Watsonia, Victoria. If you change your trajectory, then it can be affected. Malingering is when you fake an injury. It's like, and it happens a lot. It happens a lot. Those of less pluck, those that are there for the wrong reasons, those that are mentally and physically immature and weak, will overplay an injury, will pretend to have an injury just to be able to get away from hard things that are coming towards them at what feels like a scud speed. An example of that is my leg, or I feel sick, or my back, when a pack march is coming up, especially if it was a gate, especially if it was a live fire activities, especially if it was a PESA, so to speak, if it was a BFA. If you get out of that, for example, if you miss physical things in the School of Infantry back squad, and that can be anywhere up to 6 or 8 weeks, depending on how far a platoon is behind you. And that's designed to retrain you. It can be for weapons, it can be for attitude. Back squads, it's a terrible thing because you leave the muster, you leave the family that you got on the bus with, oath or affirmation, and then you've got to come into a new platoon like someone going to jail. What'd you get back squatted for? I don't want to talk about it, so to speak. Original flavour, I think of tubes, the bite-sized saucy snacks when you say that. Been medically cleared from having a high temperature, hoping to get May the 12th or the 25th. But a high temperature is only for a short period of time. I don't know what their problem is there. Princess Cami, g'day, mate. How you going? Welcome. Team, if I haven't seen you on here before, feel free to subscribe to the channel that's here for you and tick the thumbs up. But I say that YouTube knows we exist because at the moment they are trying their damned hardest to get rid of channels similar to ours. What do I mean? Mr. Bucko probably sees this too. When you go to upload a video now on YouTube, there is a list more than a page long of things that you have to tick if you go into that realm. If you mention anything to do with military, anything to do with war, including Anzac Day, if you mention anything to do with politics, if you mention anything that has COVID-19 in it, any one of those things, straight away, the algorithm says, don't put that out there where it can be seen because you're competing with the channels that they want to be seen that normally have a left slant. And I've physically seen and personally seen, administrationally seen, different times where my channel has just gone and powered down, all because of something I've done or said or a thumbnail. In our last channel, I had a specific thumbnail where the algorithm picked that up, not a human, an algorithm, because of a symbol. And basically my channel was like no one could see it for about a month. It was crazy. Like as I've made my third application a few weeks ago, and I'll be attending my assessment session on Tuesday. Any last minute preparation? No, just look at the videos that I put out there, mate. Now, we can't give you all the answers. We can't give you a script, because at the end of the day, the assessment session is there for you to be able to pull your DAX down, for them to be able to check out your undercarriage, for them to make sure you're physically good to go. Because the last thing you want is someone getting into infantry by cooking the books, selling that they are A-OK, and then getting in and ending up with an injury, one that can cost the government millions of dollars, but also costing that person the potential to have the ability to free move for the rest of their life. What I mean by that, back injury, getting in, and then that getting either herniated discs or getting something that ends up being chronic pain. I've been to pain courses before, chronic pain courses, because I've got a really bad back as well. It's really affected my sex life. So the ladies say, I'll blame my back. And basically there was one gentleman on there, he was military, and the coordinator of the course basically had to say to him, can you just promise me that you're not going to kill yourself? Because the technology with back treatment is getting better all the time, and your pain, despite the fact that you cannot take any more of it, we just need you to hold on, son. It was really terrible to see this guy and the pain he must have been in. Mr. Buckaroony reckons that Hillary must own YouTube. Maybe. She seems to be able to get away with everything else.